But let's move on to the draft. We're going to cover. First off, we're going to cover the first round deals that did go down today. So we're going to go just really quickly who won, who lost, and so let's jump into the first one. Indiana Pacers get Thaddeus Young. Brooklyn Nets get the right to the number 20 pick, who is Karis LeVert, and then a future second round pick. Who won this one, Brooklyn or Indiana?
I think this one's a neutral one because the way I see it is Thaddeus Young. I mean, if I'm the Nets, give or take.
Really?
To me, the bigger thing about this is, yes, LeVert has some injury problems, but the bigger thing for the Nets is they could not let this first round pass without getting back in. They could not go.
They need to re-energize this team a little bit.
Yeah. Well, they have to just re-energize their fan base because the draft is in their stadium.
Yeah, and one real quick, I do want to say, trades that we would like to see. We did mention that Thaddeus Young should be traded by the Nets.
Thaddeus Young was just, it was too easy. He was like hanging out there. I was like, come on. I can put up points. I don't need a ton of minutes. Somebody's going to pay me.
Yeah.
I mean, he may not have a 3-point shot, which is unfortunate, but he can stretch the floor enough, and he'll still give you some easy points every night. So he's productive. I really like what Indy's done. And the LeVert pick, the injuries just concern me. We watched a little bit of his highlights, though. He does have a lot of potential, and he can be explosive. The length is crazy. Like, watching him play out there, I was kind of surprised by that. But I just keep coming back to, okay, you're expecting someone to be explosive in the lane. He's got bad feet.
Yeah.
Could it also be similar to what the Pacers did last year? They drafted Miles Turner out of Texas, who had some knee problems too.
But Miles Turner turned out way above everybody's expectations.
I'm just saying, the one thing, and Sean, you said it during the draft, was you mentioned that, hey, LeVert, when he's healthy, boy, he looks good.
Yeah, but again, it's can he stay healthy? And it seems like he was consistently injured.
And that's the same thing we were saying about
Michigan.
Miles Turner coming in was, how's the knee injury going to do? Is it going to affect him in the NBA? So it's kind of a similar question coming in.
Coming to an MVP network to you soon. I don't know how I messed that up.
An MVP network near you?
Yeah, an MVP
That's
network
what you
near
meant
you.
to say.
The We Agree podcast, Dave and I.
Yep.
I agree. Pacers won this one. You need a stretch for. Thaddeus Young can do that for you, and the Nets. I was iffy on their pick. There was a lot more prospects out there like Dejounte
I was really
Murray.
surprised that this draft seemed to go
A lot of reaches.
Yeah,
a lot of reaches.
Reaches are just kind of weird ones where I'm like, I feel like you. Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
There was a lot, and we'll get into them. We'll go to the next trade, though. The Charlotte Hornets get Marco Bellinelli, and the Sacramento Kings get the rights to the number 22 pick, who is Malachi Richardson. I think the Kings win this one just because you get Malachi Richardson, and I love this guy. I love him so much.
You get a shooting guard who can drive. Yeah, he's inconsistent shooting, but he's younger than Bellinelli. That's the big thing.
Really? He's younger than Bellinelli.
Yeah.
I did not know that the 30-year-old Marco Bellinelli.
I don't think it's
breaking news on MVP.
To be honest with you, I don't think it's a terrible trade from the Hornets. I just think the Kings are going to win this one just because I like Malachi Richardson. I think you bring in youth to that team, and if he pans out, him and Boogie can be dynamite. I really like that pick from the Kings. And Bellinelli, he might be able to help the Hornets,
he's a role player at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the upside. That's what we're looking at. Malachi has the upside. He can grow as a player. Bellinelli is on the downturn of his career. Honestly, it's just like he's a bench player. Mm-hmm. That's the expectation. Well, it's not bad, but huge upside for this Kings team.
And the big thing, if you're looking to add a bench player for the Hornets at 22, would you rather have a veteran like Bellinelli on the bench or a rookie where it's like, yeah, we could draft him. He's probably not going to play much. He's going to be on the bench. And if we need him in a big situation, he's a rookie.
We've seen Bellinelli come up huge from time to time.
I think the Hornets, are they going to hit any home runs in free agency? Probably not. But the thing that the Hornets need is veterans to come in because they were a team that...
You know who they need? Jose Calderon.
Ooh.
They were a team that I want to say was after...
Great veteran leadership.
It was after the All-Star break. They were 21-8 to end the season. So
they went on a
they hit a hot streak, and then they take the Heat to 7. Could have won that.
That was a beautiful series.
Could have won that series. And, I mean, one of the things is, like I said, they just need veterans to come in. So they might have been looking at going, yeah, we could take a Richardson, but we don't fucking need him.
Yeah, I think the time to grow and their window kind of matched up. Bellinelli can come in, like you said, clutch times in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Give them minutes he needs, and they don't have to worry about growing Malachi up to be able to play in those kind of situations. They don't need to worry about playing time during the regular season to get him there. Bellinelli can play when healthy. He can play short spurts. He can play long if they need him to, but it's not really like there's any requirements for him. He's just a plug and play.
Yeah, and before we go on real quick, again, going real time here, I'm wearing the Boston Fire Department shirt, and Boston earlier took Demetrius Jackson, and now they select Ben Bento. I'm a Celtics fan. But
Ben
anyways,
Bento.
we're going on to the other trade, and this one was the biggest one that involved picks, and it was kind of out of nowhere, and we'll get into it. Phoenix Suns get the rights to the number 8 pick, who is Marquise Chris, and the Kings get the right to the number 13 pick. I'm going to mess up this name, Georgios Papagiannis. Georgios Papagiannis. They get the rights to the number 28th pick, who ended up being Scalabissier, and then they get a 2020 second round pick, and then the draft rights to Bogdan Bogdanovic, who is picked number 27th in 2014. Who won this trade, and why is it Phoenix?
I was gonna say Phoenix, and I mean
everyone with a brain says Phoenix.
The only thing I liked that the Kings ended up drafting was Scal.
Yeah. That should have been the 13th pick, not the.
Yeah. Well,
it was kind of weird.
If they could have got him at 28. They could have got him at 28. But why would you have to take Papagiannis at 13? Like, why?
He was projected like second round.
Well,
I think I had him.
So
in the 50s.
There's different projections out there.
True,
and
but
I
I
don't
didn't
know
see
how much these scouts are spending in the Euro leagues because think up they've been. A lot more games have been played in the last couple of weeks over there, so you really got a chance to analyze these players a little more.
I don't know why they just would if they're thinking big man.
Yep.
I mean, of course, Papagiannis is a center, and this guy isn't. He's a power forward, but why not go like Hernan
Don't limit
Gomez?
us with positions, man.
Anyone.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like the thing that's great
I don't know. You
is
have Boogie too.
I am so
He's a center.
I am so glad the Suns made this deal. Because if they didn't, they would have made the pick, probably picked the guy that the Kings should have picked in Denzel Valentine. If they would have done that, I would have been a sad Bulls fan.
See, but I look at this.
I would have been a depressed Bulls fan.
If you do want to hear my rant about the Sacramento Kings, go to our, I think it was draft deadline deals that should have happened. I look at the Kings, and all right, you pick a center at 13 who wasn't in Chad Ford's top 35, who was drafted in, I think, projected at Draft Express in the 50s. You look at me, I think I had him at like 55, 57. I had him
but
late.
did Billis have him that high?
Your
Billis
4.0, your 4.0, you had him the second round pick to the Bulls, and then in your 5.1, you had him one pick lower.
Hey,
I never did a second round.
If you see
He
like,
made my debut in my 5.0 as a second rounder.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying the Kings obviously saw something they liked in him, and
But
the
you can
question
wait.
is, but can they? Is the question because we don't know what these other teams are thinking. We don't know if they jumped up to get that guy. We don't know. I'm just assuming that
Is he a diamond in the rough?
I'm just assuming that the Kings' leadership is terrible at this point.
It is. Vladdy doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Vivek Ranadive doesn't know what he's doing. I look at Papagiannis. Okay, he's a center. Let's see what let's look at the Kings here. All right, we got DeMarcus Cousins, Rudy Gay, and maybe Rajon Rondo. Okay, our best player is DeMarcus Cousins. What position is he? A center. Okay, let's draft a center.
Let's reach for a center.
Let's not reach. Let's like jump up into the ceiling.
You want to get a ladder too?
Let's look through all of the insulation up there and then pull him out. Like that is a reach. I can't imagine. What a terrible pick.
On the other hand,
you need some guard help there.
On the other hand, the Suns go out and get back-to-back young talent. First, they pick Dragon Benda. Themselves.
Dragon Benda.
God, I'm choking on that. And then they go out and get Marquise Chris. The guys, we literally compared these two week after week.
We said, who should they draft? And they said, fuck it, let's get both.
Like, it's not sure the answer ever.
We're not sure.
We'll just take both. They're both under 20. They're both phenomenal upsides.
And none of them are a reach.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? People are thinking we're going to do this, we're going to do that. If we pick one or the other, people are going to think we screwed up, so let's just get them both and make everyone happy.
And the Kings were thinking, hey, we don't need fans. We got a new arena. Let's just pick him.
And the thing about the Kings, and I'm happy that they traded Chris, because the 8th pick was one of those where, Sean, you knew before the draft. Dave, you were coming over to my house late, so you didn't hear this conversation. I was nervous that Buddy was going to go there. And I was like, if Buddy goes there, career over. Not going to have a career. Going to be a Ben McLemore.
That's what so many people are saying now about Scale. People are saying that about Papagiannis.
Scale,
I think it's just
have hope. I have a wee bit of hope.
We'll see.
Because Scale has the stroke. He has the shot down. He just needs to get more consistent at it. And there's that upside. There is so much upside to having a stretch four who can give you a defensive presence. He gets involved with the block shots because of his length. I just think maybe the Kings are like, hey, we need more guys with more than 10 letters in our last name.
I think
so. Let's go out and get 3 of them.
I think we'll definitely go into biggest steals in this draft, and I think Scale will definitely be mentioned. I think everyone agrees here that Phoenix won that trade. Won that trade.
Genius move.
honestly, the Kings might have won it if they didn't pick anyone but Papagiannis. I'm sorry, Papagiannis. I know you're our number one fan here, but I'm sorry. You shouldn't go number 13.
I'm gonna love it when we're looking back at this video right around like maybe Christmas time, and it's
Man.
like Papagiannis is leading.
Guess what?
For Rookie of the Year.
We won't be at all.
Kind of like how people bashed Porzingis, and then it was like, oh,
This
look,
isn't
he can play.
Porzingis.
Don't even-
No.
This
no,
isn't
no,
Porzingis.
No comparisons are happening.
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
saying if it's
You're
the same
hoping
thing,
for
and he
similar
blew it up.
action. Yeah.
This is reaching
With
up
all
your
the
ass
playing
and pulling
time he
something
gets.
out.
Stay behind
Usually I
Boogie.
do that a
Come
lot.
on.
I don't think this is there.
Papagiannis is.
He's gonna
this
blow
is
it
a
out of the water.
complete
I'm not
stretch.
saying he's going to.
It's not.
He's gonna blow out of the water from the bench, play behind
Dude,
Boogie.
totally.
You
Now-
know it's gonna happen.
Dude, he's the third Splash Brother.
Okay, but now honestly, we gotta.
We
I think we
continue
have a
on,
discussion here. This is the last trade that we're gonna cover here. It's gonna be who made the worst trade, the Magic or the Kings? Because the Magic lands Serge Ibaka from the Thunder, which sounds great, but listen, they gave up Victor Oladipo, Ersan Ilyasova, and the rights to Domantas Sabonis. Honestly, if you said Sabonis and Ilyasova, I'd say yeah, it's a decent trade.
But then you just throw in Victor
You
Oladipo.
throw in Victor Oladipo. Oh my God.
Ilyasova, I'm not really I'm giving him a pass on Ilyasova because that to me looked like why did we trade the Bucks for him? Let's just get rid of him.
Yeah, but you could also he's decent stretching the floor. He's nothing special, but he's better than Singler.
The thing I look at for the Magic is maybe the reason why they traded him is what are they going to do with Hazonia?
They're trying to get more time. It could just be they're kind of flooded at a couple positions. They're clearing out
Shooting
some
guard
space.
being one of them.
And look, you get a stretch four who is a legitimate defensive shutdown player. There's not a ton out there. He can give you instant presence down in that post. So we saw what he was able to do in limited minutes in this playoffs as a whole. So it kind of seems crazy, but when you start thinking about what the Magic need to take that next step,
and the thing,
not
and
the
the
worst
thing you
thing in the
got to
world.
think about,
it just seems like they paid way too much.
And you get Vogel too, who's a great defensive mind.
Well, no, this is what it comes down to: is they've got Alfred Payton at the point, so they're not going to have Hazonia.
I'm not sold on.
Yeah, but they're not going to have Hazonia play the point when they probably think that Payton.
Right.
One of the things, the reason Scott Skiles said I'm done was because he didn't like.
I love that Scott Skiles was just like, I'm done.
Well, one of the things he said he didn't like was he wasn't sold like Sean on Alfred Payton, and the Magic front office was like,
They're
no,
pushing him.
We're sold on him. They have him at the point. They're not going to play Hazonia there, so you got to put Hazonia at the 2. It's crowded with Oladipo, and they probably looked at it and said, "Hey, we just drafted Hazonia last year. That's more rookie years. Oladipo, the older player, we're going to have to be giving him a contract sooner, so let's just trade him for Serge."
Okay, so let's look at Oladipo. He's 24. He was a second-round draft pick in 2013. Arguably,
Second overall.
Yeah, well, arguably, and that's a terrible draft class. You could say he's one of the best players in that draft class. I think Giannis was also there too, so at 15.
Yeah.
But at least top 5. He was
Which
the
at the
best.
time was a steal because you got to think, or I'm sorry, was a reach because he was not in people's first round. So Papagiannis were holding out hope.
Oh my God. Anyways, I would say Thon Maker more of that, but
Let's not get started on that.
If we talk about Oladipo, he was top 5. He was probably his best player in the top 5 of the draft.
Yeah.
But looking at his minutes. In 2014 to the 2014 season, he started basically every single game, played in 72 games, 71 games started, averaged 17.9 points. He shot 43% from the field and 33% from 3. Then you look at this year, his game started went down, so obviously he didn't really stick and fit in with the Magic, so they wanted to get him out of here. So he played 72 games, same amount of games, started 52 of them, had 2 less minutes, but his 3-point percentage has gone up in every single year, 32%, 33%, and last year was 34%. So obviously you like that there. And if he can develop that shot, that's obviously going to add more depth to that Oklahoma City team. And if you look at Oklahoma City, they always needed a 2 guard.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
it seems like they transitioned off of Harden, and then it was just digging for,
and the
Deion Waiters failed, and then, ugh.
I said Magic at the beginning. Now looking into it, the beginning question you had, I'm saying Kings, and this is why.
Oh, Kings did. Yeah.
Well, for the Magic, it's to me Ilyasova and Oladipo both done, well, contract wise, at the end of this year. So for the Magic, they're thinking, you know what, Oladipo, we don't even want to think about giving him any kind of money. Like think about re-signing him, and we could bring in Serge. For the Thunder side, they're thinking, well, yeah, we can bring in that guy, like you guys said. They haven't had that good third piece to Durant and Westbrook since Harden.
They got a 2 guard now.
And guess what? If it doesn't work, bye. Whatever.
But
you didn't work.
the interesting thing about this
Sabonis is the main piece for the Thunder moving forward.
well, that they're hoping Sabonis is the
Yeah.
right fit because
I mean,
now they're adding
Oladipo-
another defensive guy down low who can give you something similar to what Adams is right now. So there's huge potential there. He's rough on the boards. He's absolutely just a beast down low. So I'm thrilled to see him go to this team. But it really showed me that OKC is buying in. We're going to show Kevin Durant that we want to win as much as he does. And here is his best chance.
Yep.
We're going to go out get you not only a big down low to help out, we're going to also get you a 3-point shooter off the bench. We're going to get you a 2-guard who can defend with the best of them, who's going to get you points, rebounds, and assists.
And completely athletic.
I mean, Sean, the We Agree podcast.
We agree. I mean, I'm going to say the Kings had the worst because they did worse with what they got in the trade.
We can at least somewhat rationalize the Orlando trade.
Yeah.
But it's an overpay.
Oh,
but
completely.
it still is something. The Kings I feel like it was just like, oh fuck, why not? Let's just do this.
So basically what I'm
Clock
saying
was ticking down.
So basically what I'm
They're
saying
playing
is
2K.
Yeah, basically what I'm
2K.
saying is first off, give Sam Presti a raise, and maybe you don't even pay KD. Just give KD or Sam Presti KD's money because this was a steal, phenomenal trade for the Thunder. And we're talking about a team that pushed the Warriors to a Game 7.
Shoulda
We're
won.
up
What was
3-1.
it? Bill Simmons tweeted the call the cops because the Magic just got robbed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at this and they completely got robbed. It completely stole this one away. I look at this as a fantastic trade from the Thunder. Sam Presti did a great job. I can rationalize this from the Magic side.
However, I can still understand it. That's
Yeah,
what I was
I
going
can
to say.
say- I
I can
can-
still understand it.
Don't kill us, Magic fans. But I can understand the trade from the side of the Magic. I look at the Kings here, and I understand the trade. All right, Phoenix wants in, and you get more draft picks, and you're getting more prospects, and then you go up and pick Papa Giannis.
I mean,
So
they
Kings
had the
lost this one.
potential to do something good with those draft picks. Well, they did great with Scal. I feel like they missed an opportunity with that earlier pick, and I feel like if they had grabbed. Shit, there's a handful of players. There
is-
was one.
there
There
is
was multiple options.
30 players I can name that I would have taken over Papa
There were
Giannis.
multiple options out there for them that might have made this go better.
Denzel Washington or Denzel Valentine.
Denzel
I'm
Washington.
sorry.
Yeah.
I would
Denzel
take him.
Washington.
I would take the man on fire over him. That's
Training day.
Training day.
anything.
They
man.
could have taken Denzel Valentine, who literally went one pick later.
I would take any. This
They
just-
get a point guard because, I don't know, maybe Rondo doesn't want to resign with your shithole team.
They get a shooting guard because who's their shooting guard now?
Ben McLemore.
Yeah, I don't know. Terrible. Go scale. Go
we-
scale.
are we
You
gonna
drafted
try-
me 28. Go scale. with
Maybe
13.
they were doing this as like a thing where they're like, we don't want to ruin anyone's potential. Because what it seems to happen is we take in players and then they just shit.
outside of DeMarcus Cousins.
DeMarcus
And
Cousins,
DeMarcus Cousins is trying
was
to
about 6 years ago.
Yeah, and he's trying to ruin his potential just by just getting every coach fired. So
my
we might never
gosh.
see DeMarcus Cousins at his full because he's never he's always on the
he's never
Kings.
gonna take
He's always
100%
wasting his
serious
time
either.
on the Kings.
You know
Yeah.
what? You know what would be hilarious with that move?
Why am I pissed?
If if we find
Because
out
like you understand that you could be a better GM than Vladdy right now.
I could be any. Anyways,
it's gonna be funny if we find out like a few years later that it's like the Kings really wanted to take Thon Maker at 13, but the Bucks threw the fucking just wrench
Maybe
into
that's
the wheel.
why the Bucks
And
needed a
it's like-
26-year-old
it's
Thon
like-
Maker.
I
It's
think,
like, fuck, we
honestly-
were going to take Thon. What do we do,
Yeah.
Papa Giannis?
Honestly, I think they made the trade and then turned the lights off in the war room, and then Vladdy had a dart and just threw it, and instead of going straight and like picking out of five, five of the guys on the dartboard, it went all the way over here to the draft
Hit the
board.
second round
and
draft
hit the
board?
second round draft board, and they were like,
I just figured maybe like Steph Curry also turned off the Wi-Fi for the Kings headquarters. Maybe.
who? Oh God, who's the last guy you saw? Papa Giannis. Is he good?
Give me a name. Well, the Giannis guy's pretty memorable.
He's on the Bucks. No, the other guy, Papa Giannis. All right, we'll take him. I think it was awful by the Kings. I'll go on my
They
King-
choked hard.
Hey, go to our subscribe to our channel. Go watch my Kings draft grade, which will be coming out soon. Watch it, and I'm just gonna go off on the Kings rant. I'm upset because my
You're not
team
even a
used to
Kings
be
fan.
That's
okay.
best. Okay.
One of my favorite teams of old was the 2002 Sacramento Kings. You got
Mike Bibby.
You got Mike Bibby. You
Fantastic.
got Peja Stojakovic. You got Doug Christie, who was a defensive mastermind. You got Vlade Divac, who when he was actually
As a player.
Yeah, as a player when he was good, where he should have stayed. I mean, obviously, I think he should have just kept his glory there. And then you got some guy named Chris Webber who was pretty good. I mean, this team was fantastic. They got screwed out of the 2002 finals because the Lakers rigged it with the refs. I'm not getting into it.
Now
Anyways,
who's talking about the NBA being rigged?
All right. So who won?
That
Who
was.
won these trades? Like, who's the winner of all these trades?
Magic lost. I'm sorry, Magic lost.
We talked losers already. Kings. I think you're done with your rant.
Yeah.
I
All
think
right,
it's
so who won
basically
trade?
whoever we said didn't lose won.
Thunder won.
for
No,
Thunder,
the biggest winner of all these trades. The biggest winner. in the
Thunder.
Thunder. Yeah,
as
that's
much as I like the Suns' move, again, it's gonna get crowded there because you got Bender and Chris. They're gonna be fighting for playing time. But I still think I like the moves. But yeah, Thunder for sure.
How much does this actually help? Like what are the odds it changed from Kevin Durant staying to leaving? Like, how much do you feel like this increased?
More staying.
Do you think he was going to leave before this?
No, he was going to stay.
See, I think I agree with what we used to say is he would sign a 1-year contract and we'll be doing this again. I think that was about 95% sure. Maybe it goes up to 97. I mean, I'm just throwing numbers out here.
Well,
These literally don't mean anything. But
I'm trying to get you to say something concrete.
Here's
here.
the thing. I
KD's
go
staying
back
in
to.
OKC.
There we
Here's
go.
the only
There it is.
thing.
Put your
Here's
name
the
on
only
it.
thing that I'm going to
wink.
mention on the KD thing is they came out with that Boston story where KD was talking to Boston before the series
Of
ended.
course.
The way I think about it, you don't let things get out unless you want them to get out. That was probably something that KD was like, you know what? Let that get out so this team does something this offseason. And that's probably why this trade happened.
So many leaks.
KD was probably going to stay anyways, but he's like, you know what? We need to make some moves to get better anyways. So why don't
This is
I
fantastic,
try to
yeah.
use it to get something going in? But